The battle continues over Roy Moore in Alabama, and I just want to show you the reactionary nature of American politics. So, as I have said to you, I believe that Roy Moore did the things he is alleged to have done. I think that because there's been no anywhere near a convincing rebuttal of any of the testimony or evidence put forward by the accusers. Meanwhile, Hollywood is basically willing to ignore a lot of the evils in their own midst, and of course they are very upset about Roy Moore because Roy Moore is a Republican. They were all defending Bill Clinton, and they would again today if they had the choice. As far as I know, Jimmy Kimmel has not been commenting on Al Franken. Maybe he has. If he has, then I miss it and I apologize, but I haven't seen that. Jimmy Kimmel deployed a guy down to a church in Alabama, and this guy went into a speech that Roy Moore was giving at the church and started berating him at the church. In the middle of his speech, he was then removed. So this is Jimmy Kimmel's guy. I can't remember the name of this fellow because I don't watch Jimmy's show, but I believe that his name was, let's see, Rich Barbieri, who's better known as Jake Bird. So here is a pretend Roy Moore superfan who's actually an employee of Jimmy Kimmel's.
That's all. The entire town, all the girls are lying. Five statewide campaigns.
Why would they lie?
And 3 county-wide campaigns. We can stop it and get them out.
Hey, come on, get out of here, dude. We're here for the judge. We're here for the judge.
Okay,
She's a man's man. The judge is a man's man. You got this, Judge. You got this. Don't listen to him. Get out of here. That's a man's man. Does that look like the face of a molester?
Okay, so he's removed, and then Roy Moore tweets out at Jimmy Kimmel, and they get in a big tweet fight, right? And this is a fight that only helps Roy Moore and only helps Jimmy Kimmel and doesn't help anybody who's rational on these subjects and trying to figure out exactly how to vote or who is guilty or who is innocent. So the tweet fight goes something like this. So we have the tweets. So here are the tweets. So Roy Moore tweets out, "If you want to mock our Christian values, come down here to Alabama and do it man to man." And then Jimmy Kimmel, of course, jumps right on this. And Jimmy Kimmel is better at this than Roy Moore. And so he tweets out, "Sounds great, Roy. Let me know when you get some Christian values and I'll be there." And not unfair, considering the man's been charged of, has been, accused of sexual molestation of underage women. And then Roy Moore fires back, and he says, "Despite DC and Hollywood elite's bigotry towards Southerners, Jimmy, we'll save you a seat on the front pew." Okay, so he's just going in for more. And then Jimmy Kimmel responds, "Okay, Roy, but I'm leaving my daughters at home. P.S. Wear that cute little leather vest." Okay, so the only people who are benefited by this sort of stuff are Jimmy Kimmel, who looks like he gets to virtue signal to his audience, and Roy Moore, who gets to look like he's virtue signaling to his audience because Hollywood is so bad and Hollywood is so terrible and all this nonsense. The reality is that everybody's already made up their mind on Roy Moore. All of the virtue signaling on the back of this seems to me a little bit much. I think that there is a complex moral calculus that is happening for people who are in Alabama. It's a very similar moral calculus to the one that was made during the 2016 election. I think some people of good heart are going to come down on one side. Some people of good heart are going to come down on the other side. I think that it is not the right moral decision to vote for Roy Moore in Alabama. The man is a credibly alleged child molester. But on the other hand, I think that to do the kind of virtue signaling that Jimmy Kimmel is doing and that Roy Moore is doing off the back of Hollywood, all this does is exacerbate the reactionary political moment that we're already in.